Hello and welcome to day 29. I can't believe we're at the end, but I have a story for you today, but let me read the quotation for today. A man cannot consider himself free unless he possesses self-control and is the master of his own actions. So, there you go. That's what you're going for. My story. So, it was 2014. Well, it was before that. Mom died in 2007. And when Mom died, we found out my dad had dementia. She had been keeping it from us. And then after he passed and my sisters and I got there, I knew something was off with my insurance sales experience and learning how to tell if someone's cognitively capable of signing a contract. And we had to do that training every year to keep our license. So I recognized some signs that he had some cognitive deficits. And I said, we can't leave him alone. He can't live alone. So at that point, over time, we sold his house and he started living with me and my sister and my brother, and we just kind of rotated him around because he had severe paranoia and thought we were trying to kill him and poison him. And so he'd just stay here for a while, and then he'd go there for a while, and then he'd move to there for a while. And we just did that until we thought, well, it was until I couldn't take care of him anymore because he was wandering around at night. And both my brother and sister worked, so they couldn't keep him anymore because he had started wandering away from the house. So he was with me, and he had started staying up all night, and I was struggling to take care of him because of that. And so that was when he went into a nursing home. But I would go visit him every day. I was going and having lunch with him every day until they would take him back to his room, and he would get ready for a nap. So I was staying with him from 11 till 2 every day. And I had the time to do that, and I knew that if I didn't visit him, his care might not be top notch. So I decided I would use my time to make sure he's getting the best care possible by showing up every day. So, and over those years, there was some really hard times where he was very combative, and he went a whole year and thought I was my mother. And that didn't bother me. I never tried to convince him I wasn't. I just was like, if he's happy to see me, that's good. It doesn't matter if he thinks I'm my mom. But every time I'd go visit, I'd come home, and eventually during the day, one of my kids or my husband would ask me, how's Grandpa? How's he doing? And my response was nearly always the same. And I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. I'm going to tell you what happens later. So around 2014, 2012, it was 2014. I had a physical, a regular physical exam, annual physical, and they saw something on the heart rate monitor. They just did a regular heart rate, and I guess they couldn't even feel a pulse or something, so they got the doctor, and the doctor came in and said, okay, let's just run a little EKG, and they found that my heart wasn't pumping right. And they sent me to a cardiologist, and the cardiologist sent me to do a sonogram on my heart, and they found that the left ventricle wasn't pumping enough blood back up, so my heart was almost stopping and then thumping real hard to catch up. I was aware of the thumping. I never knew that the heart was almost stopping. So they didn't know why that was happening, and they scheduled me for an angiogram where they go in through the leg artery to check all the arteries in the heart. And before that test, my dad passed away. And then I went in for that test, like within days after he had passed. Yeah, it was days after he had passed. And the doctor, I remember the doctor coming back after the procedure to check on me, and he said, I don't know why you're here. You're young. I was in my 50s. He was like, you're young and all your arteries are fine. Like, why did they send you here? I said, I don't know. They said I had like heart failure. I don't know. So I had a follow up with the cardiologist eventually, and I asked him, I said, how does that happen? How do you tell me I have heart failure and then this guy tells me my heart's fine? What is that? And he said, well, because it had been weeks, right, since the initial visit with the cardiologist, maybe even a month, and then I finally had the procedure and then the follow-up. He said, what happened in that time? And I just started crying because I put it all together really fast, but I just started crying. And I said, well, my father just passed away. And he said, yeah, that's how stress kills. I said, no, I manifested this. I said, I used to say every time anyone asked me, how is he? I would say these words. I said, he's fine, but it just breaks my heart to see him like that. And I even have chills just saying it again, because I truly manifested that broken heart syndrome by thinking that, by saying, it breaks my heart. And then the minute, like, I've never had a problem with my heart after that. Like, literally, that was the problem. Can stress, I think if you look up broken heart syndrome, that's what it is. The left ventricle stops pumping enough blood up into the heart. Anyway, I truly believed in manifestation after that. I had always been a manifester. Lou and I learned about it, I guess, from The Secret. Was my first introduction to it as a thing that people actually like try to do. I just always thought that if you believed in something, it would happen. I don't know if you call that faith or whatever, but that was when I believed that my words created my reality. And it was after that that I've been very careful about what I say and how I say it, because when you're talking about your life in negative terms, you're manifesting those things. And the people who like to talk to each other every day about all their problems, they're literally manifesting those things to continue in their lives. So from that time, I literally started correcting my family, at least. Then when they would say something like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I would say, don't ever say that. Don't say that. That's going to become a belief in your mind. Your body's going to believe it and create it. Like, stop. Don't ever say that. Always believe the best. And if you don't feel it, like intellectually, I know what my situation is, but I'm never going to verbalize it out loud. I'm never going to think about it in definite terms that manifest it more. If someone says, how you doing? I'm saying, well, I'm having great days. I'm having really great days. Thank you for asking. That's it. I don't need to know anything else other than that. And I do have great days. Anyway, I wanted to share that little story with you. Maybe think about the things you say and relate it to how your life is, and maybe make some changes to how you speak about yourself and your life and the events in your life, because that was powerful. That was a powerful realization. Like, I literally said it every day. Wow, it just breaks my heart to see him like that. It just breaks my heart to see him like that. He was the kind of person, he was like a MacGyver. He's the kind of person you would have chosen to be on that island with you. If you had to choose one person, I would be like my dad. He could do anything, he can make anything, he can find food, we're going to be fine if he's there. And then to see him so helpless and unable to communicate and weak and confused, and yeah, it really did break my heart. But then saying it so many times, literally my heart was like, oh, we're broken. Yeah, she thinks we're broken. We got to be broken. She's creating a broken heart. We have to have a broken heart. So be careful what you say about yourself. Be very careful. And I'll see you tomorrow for the last video. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about the going forward, and it'll be the last video. So see you tomorrow.